Council advocates for human rights Uganda and I'm a civil rights leader. I work with Anchor of Freedom and Rights Act. In my capacity as a clansman of Wandi descent, as a Madi from Rigbo County, and also representing those who are not here with me, our elders, who have gone before us and who are still with us, who will not be here today, here to convey and read the message from my father, Ezaruku Kazimiro, who was a civil servant and who calls the Reverend, the late Acidri Titus, uncle. So here's a message I'm reading from the nephew to the late Titus Acidri. Thank you. Dear brethren, the heading is celebrating the life of Reverend Titus Acidri. I wish to thank you all for organizing this prayer to celebrate the life of our beloved late uncle, Reverend Titus Acidri. I felt I should highlight a few memories of the late, which have left an everlasting impact on me and many more, though some may not vividly remember them or may not know them. I have categorized the memories into three themes. The first theme, Reverend Titus Acidri, the youthful holistic education activist. I started my primary education at Rigbo Primary School in the 1970s when Titus Acidri was in upper primary at the same school. Due to his good behavior, humility and faith, the school administration under the beloved headmaster, Mr. Yakobo or Diki, who always referred to him as a model pupil. His attributes enabled him to serve as a head prefect and rise to the post of head prefect. The school administration would instruct him and other prefects to organize roll calls on Sundays for all pupils attending Catholic and Anglican churches in sub-county. The same applied to Muslim pupils on Fridays. He coordinated the prayer, roll calls very well, and defaulters would be punished every minor. This practice enabled almost all pupils to attend prayers on Sundays and Fridays. Besides academics, the late was an excellent footballer, the main defender number 2 in the school football team. During this time, Rigbo Primary School won many football trophies at county and district levels, competing against the Jogoro, Rhinecamp, and Jojoy primary schools. The late Reverend Titus Acidri obtained a high first grade in PLD at Rigbo Primary School alongside classmates like Mr. Andrew Richard, who was the banker before and now the chairperson of the district, the Obogi district, local government service commission, among others. He was admitted to St. Joseph's College of Obachi for O-level. And while at Obachi, the late head teacher, Reverend Father Mickey, admired him greatly because of his character and appointed him as the school food prefect, a position reserved for disciplined students. Because of his love for education, Titus, together with his colleagues from various secondary schools, would organize remedial lessons for upper primary school. Our Mom Reverend Titus so much, due to her proficiency in the local dialect, I'm going to ask her to sing. There are 2 songs, and she's a local scholar as well, so I must give her the credits. Thank you.
Thank you. Ungo Reverend Titus Nyabingo across the Nile. Adima Alia, by him who is Pierre, and Zoro Lini. Oh, Peta Katamavio. Malaya, Aneta Mamlesi, Yesu Pamani, Opeta Katamamu, Mirmalaya, Aneta Mamlesi, Yesu Pamani, Rangwa Zuri, Ongwana Birzuri, Ongwina Bingo Bini, Erigeta Kutaku, Yesu Yamote, Erigeta Kutaku, Yesu Yamote, Erigeta Kutaku, Yesu Yamote.
This is an editor's note because this is an original text from the author. Taku in this context means the bullets which are fired. So it's not taku, you must be clear the way you pronounce it. It's supposed to be the sound of the bullet. It's fine. Thank you. So I'm continuing to read. Faith was combined with hard work, as in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, and 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10, which was eventually blessed by God, and people were rescued from turmoil. We finally crossed back to the mainland in January 1983 and resumed our studies, including the late himself. Those of us who crossed the Nile were behind by 1 year, since those who went to Zaire, the present-day DRC, and South Sudan resumed in 1982. I believe the late Reverend Titus Acitri's faith and passion for evangelization may have inspired many people to join church ministry, including, but not limited to, the Venerable Joel Oluba, Reverend Nelson Lugo, Reverend Richard John, among others. I personally used to visit them and attended some of their graduations at Rigbo and Maracha. The third theme is Reverend Titus Acidri, the Moses of our secondary school era. During the Okello School of July 1989, while at LF at Mvara Secondary School, we found ourselves stranded when the school was abruptly closed and transporters feared traveling terrain. We lower Wandi students from our SS and other schools decided to assemble at Reverend Titus' residence at Arua Demonstration School late in the evening. Under his leadership, we embarked on an exodus from Arua Demonstration School via Oluba Road to Rigbo. Our first stop was at Alua Church of Uganda in Oluba, where we were hosted for a few hours by the head catechist Uncle John Odrava, who was a neighbor, who was a neighbor to the then parish priest at Alua Church of Uganda Parish, Reverend Kefa, and we. Between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., we left Arua via Winze, Unrabe, and Riki, crossed the Osu River and reached the church training center in the morning. We had another stopover and then continued with the long trek along the Arua Roundabout Highway to the Promised Land under our Moses, the late Reverend Titus Acidri. The late twin nephews, sons of Reverend Ezra Okulega, Ontika Godfrey, and Mungusi Beyonce, who is now a military police officer, were too young to walk long distances, so we carried them in turns. During the journey, Reverend Titus constantly prayed for us, guided us, encouraged us, and consoled us, and took the head count at every stage. The exodus from Arua to Rigbo under Reverend Titus always reminds me of the exodus from Egypt to the Promised Land under Moses in the books of Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Further testimonies about the exodus can be obtained from Dr. John Abima of Mulag Hospital, Geoffrey Arua, former RDC, among others. As we celebrate the life of our beloved late Uncle Reverend Titus Acidri, may we also remember the lives of the following exodus who departed before him. Ajua Manua's son, a dentist from Obokoso County, Andiga Simon Palia, clinic officer from Rigbo County, Aseka Jim, warrant officer, Rigbo County, from Rigbo County, Azabo Justin, who was a student then, from Obokoso County, Wanjiga Martin, who became a secondary teacher, from Rigbo County. In conclusion, allow me to dedicate Mark chapter 3, verses 24 to the bereaved family of the late Uncle Reverend Titus Acidri. Unity within the family where you live, workplace, God's kingdom, and all spheres of life is paramount in times of joy and sorrow. This verse has been very helpful to me and my family upon the death of my late father, Ezaruku Kazimiro, on 17th April 1991, whose death anniversary is 1 year before that of the late Reverend Titus, whom my late father loved so much. I would like to conclude by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the Right Reverend Charles Collins and Bishop of Maria Western Diocese, and his predecessors who have been good shepherds to the late Reverend Titus Acidri. May the soul of our late Uncle Reverend Titus Acidri rest in our peace. Ezaruku Kazimiro, retired civil servant, nephew to the late Titus Acidri. I would like to also convey his apologies. Unfortunately, not be here physically like he was during the time of saying farewell to him in Rigbo County as his appointment out of the region. And my message to you all and the biggest, because I'm a direct beneficiary of the disease mentorship of my own father, who fought through thick and thin and educated not only me for me to become who I am, but many people in the clan and others elsewhere. So my message is education, one, understanding. My message to all, including religious leaders, is that education, secondly, justice. You must stand as the late Reverend Titus Acidri did. You must stand for truth and justice. I wish you all a good day and the best of the celebrations. We pray for the soul of the deceased. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. Also, Bishop.